Overwatch, the game that had it all. The audience, the revolutionary mechanics that followed in Team Fortress's 2's footsteps. Developed by what at the time was still seen as one of the greatest game developers of all time. And it was all done as a redemption from Team 4's disastrous previous project, Titan. From the ashes of Team 4's failure, Project Titan, they cemented the foundation of their new FPS that could compete with Valve's Team Fortress 2, which at the time has still been alive for almost a decade. Some of the elements that made the early Overwatch so great were its mechanics. At its core, it's still an FPS, but it adds a 6v6 and abilities that can only be taken advantage of to its maximum potential through teamwork. They included abilities. For example, most tanks' ultimates in the game synergize with DPS or healer ultimates for greater effects, which in turn promote better teamplay. They had a diverse cast of characters. Every character was from a different place. Most of them did represent North America, but some, for example, like Baptist, are from Haiti, some are from Mexico. Farah and Anne are from Egypt, and Doomfist is from Africa. Lucio is from Brazil. The lore of Overwatch was my favorite part of the entire game. There were so many untold stories and so many unanswered questions that I hoped one day would be answered. What made Overwatch this band? How are they going to get together again? Will there be consequences for doing so? Why did Sombra turn evil even though in the cinematic she was saved by and idolized Soldier as a hero? These are all things that to this day I have yet have any answers to, yet were questions very apparent when I first saw the cinematics, which made the world feel alive and more vast than what it really was. Here are some of the examples of the cinematics that spoke to me.
That door won't hold. Get back to the unit. I will hold them off.
And let you have all the glory? We will fight our way back together!
No, I'm staying here.
But without you...
Lieutenant! You took an oath to be a crusader. Now, keep it.
I won't leave you!
The team needs you. Be their shield. Reinhardt, live with honor.
Die with glory, old friend.
You saved me. Why?
Old habits die hard, I guess. Run home, kid. It ain't safe out here.
You're one of those heroes, aren't you?
Not anymore.
You took these because you wanted to see if there was more out there. Well, see for yourself. Always remember, never accept the world as it appears to be. Dare to see it for what it could be.
Winston? Oh my gosh! Come on!
People decided they were better off without us. They even called us criminals. They tore our family apart. But look around! Someone has to do something! We have to do something! We can make a difference again. The world needs us now, more than ever. Are you with me?
Yes, Winston. I am with you.
Before the Overwatch League, it meant everything to most of us that were playing back then. It was the signal that the greatest esport was upon us. All of my friends knew that Overwatch was going to be huge. Most of us predicted it would surpass League of Legends in popularity. Maybe we were tripping balls looking back at it now, but who cares, right? And maybe it would have if Blizzard hadn't fucked it all up. I remember wanting to compete. I thought of not going to college and competing on the big stage for fame, glory, and money. Yet that never came to be, and looking back now, I'm glad that that was the case. Today, esports is a dying breed. In the Overwatch League, although there's no confirmation as of the making of this video, it is obvious that it is done. So what did Blizzard do to escape their sins? Well, they released Overwatch 2.
I don't know about you guys, but I really need to see what Overwatch has to offer, don't you?
Overwatch 2 didn't provide any new features. It was basically an update to the original game when you really think about it. The only feature that was advertised as something new and that made it Overwatch 2 was the PvE. But it wasn't released, it wasn't there on release date at all. It was just delayed. So basically you were left with a lesser version of Overwatch 1. Some of the differences between Overwatch 1 and Overwatch 2 are that, for example, Overwatch 1 had loot boxes, while Overwatch 2 now has a season pass that you have to pay for. You used to be able to earn skins through loot boxes that you earned by playing the game. There was even a system in place that made it easy to get free loot boxes every day. And if you played enough, you could get multiple of them every day without needing to put money into the game. Now in Overwatch 2, you have to buy expensive skins. There's no other options to get them otherwise. Prices are currently high at $19 a skin, with the Kiriko Witch skin still costing a whopping $25 because you have to buy the entire bundle. You can't just buy a single skin, which you could unlock just one every few months. When back in Overwatch 1, you used to be able to unlock multiple skins a week just by playing. The hero cards at the end of the game are gone, taking with them the player stats, endorsements to both teammates and enemies. The on-fire system is also gone, even though there are still voice lines for the features in the files. There's even new ones like Kiriko's. The gold medal system was taken out, and while there is a point to be made whether the feature did more bad than good, taking a feature away from the game and calling it an improvement is something I hesitate to say. Overwatch 2 events are worse than Overwatch 1 events, with the sole exception of Wrath of the Bride. Yet, Wrath of the Bride is still a showing of how disappointing the execution of Team 4 has been in recent years. Why hasn't that technology been put to better use? You would say, but they've used it to make that PvE, and you would be right. But just look at the community's reception of the mode. Does that seem like it put the system to good use? Because I don't think so. And then this happened.
Jeff Kaplan, the director of Overwatch, has announced that he is leaving Blizzard Entertainment after nearly...
That's not good. This is not good.
Greetings, Overwatch community. I am leaving Blizzard Entertainment after 19 amazing years. It was truly the honor of a lifetime to have the opportunity to create worlds and heroes for such a passionate audience. I want to express my deep appreciation to everyone at Blizzard who supported our games, our game teams, and our players. But I want to say a special thanks to the wonderful game developers that shared in the journey of creation with me. Never accept the world as it appears to be. Always dare to see it for what it could be. So what do you guys think is going to happen? Does this make you less confident in Overwatch 2? Because it does for me. It definitely makes me less confident in the game.
That's what they're probably referencing and saying he's showing stuff soon. Jeff worked on some of the best games in Overwatch. With WoW and Burning Crusade, and making a lot of those games like top tier.
And then that happened.
With everything we've learned about what it takes to operate this game at the level that you deserve, it's clear that we can't deliver on that original vision for PvE that was shown in 2019. What that means is that we won't be delivering that dedicated hero mode.
Wait, hold up. What the fuck?
With everything we've learned about what it takes to operate this game at the level that you deserve, it's clear that
old man
we
is
can't
not
deliver on that
beating the
original vision
record.
for PvE that was shown in 2019. What that means is that we won't be delivering that dedicated hero mode with talent trees, that long-term power progression. Those things just aren't in our plans anymore. And we know that this is going to be disappointing to many of you.
Wait. Then what is the plans then? Wait, brother. Then what even is the plans then? What do they have? There's literally... Brother, Overwatch 2 is like 3 maps, 1 character. Which is... Okay. Which is literally the same thing as their normal content roadmap for updates for the main game.
It's basically Overwatch 2 is a free-to-play update with updated engines and a 5v5 format and a shop. That's what Overwatch 2 is.
This is such a fucking joke, man. Like, I'm gonna be real, like, this is such a... Look, so we're in a situation now where Overwatch 2, the main thing that Overwatch 2 is supposed to do isn't happening. That's right. You know the only thing that you were supposed to get excited about with the game? They canceled it.
Our expectations for you were low, but holy fuck. Pretty much confirms to me that the only reason Overwatch 2 was released at all was to change the business model, get rid of loot boxes, add in a shitty battle pass, and sell cosmetics for $20. Beyond that, I can only imagine. Overwatch 2 launched with 3 new heroes, but they had to take 2 pre-existing heroes out because of new bugs that were introduced. At launch, players noticed that several classic maps had been removed for seemingly no reason, only to be added back later.
No deeply replayable campaign. No talent trees. No dedicated hero mode. No long-term power progression, and no large playable campaign. These are the features of Overwatch 2 PvE. You're about to be quite disappointed with what I'm about to explain here, guys. I'm disappointed. I'm heavily disappointed at this. PvE is going to be little episodic missions that are tied into a battle pass. Now, Blizzard, I'm not saying if you have to buy the battle pass to get access to the missions. I would imagine that you do, because I think everything they're trying to do with the game is to increase battle pass sales.
So, I played through all of the Overwatch 2 PvE missions. What did I think? Yeah, it was kind of bad. Yeah, that's not exactly a big shocker, but the experience wasn't completely irredeemable either. Playing through the missions, I was very reminded of the very first PvE mode Overwatch ever added all the way back in 2016. Junkenstein's Revenge. By Junkenstein's Revenge being damn near 7 years old at this point, it still serves as the basis of how the Overwatch team views PvE. A large portion of the missions just consists of moving from drab arena to drab arena, defending an objective from waves of basic enemies. These new missions were supposed to be Blizzard shaking up the formula they established for PvE and trying out new things, but more often than not, they just fail to deliver. When that experimentation does happen, it's short-lived and not fleshed out at all. You just don't feel like a badass when you play these missions. It's not the balls-to-the-walls action I was anticipating based on the trailers. You're just doing chores as an excuse to shoot robots. In fact, the first real mission has been around since 2019 and has been relatively unchanged. But the few things they did change have been a total downgrade across the board. Looking at old footage, you can see that the final battle in the reactor looked much more action-packed. And we got to see a glimpse of what could have been with these cool Borderlands-esque chests with loot that you could equip to fight the robots. Having something as simple as these equipment chests could have made the missions much more interesting, allowing you to change your approach every playthrough. But instead, what we got was boring and predictable. Every time you play a mission, it will be the exact same. The objectives will be the same, in the same place, and every enemy will spawn in the same place.
It was alright. That third mission with the turret thing was finally like, oh, this is kind of cool. I can see there's something there. But then the problem again is, why would I replay those?
Yeah, why am I going back?
Which was,
yeah,
which was the whole problem they had before, and the whole reason they wanted to make PvE again was to make it replayable. But
no, I don't mind them as like just little one-off things, but it's like you have to accept that like you just do it, you enjoy it, and it's like, you know, it's like any other single-player story-driven game. You know, it's like it's there, you play it through. Okay, I'm done with the game. I played the game, I'm putting down the game.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what this is.
In conclusion, ultimately Blizzard ended up right where they began, with small updates to the game, yet to get here they've lost their lead developer Jeff Kaplan, and to trust the community. Overwatch 2 is free, but it came at a great cost. The irony.